You can support this channel by checking out the awesome deals on wrestling gear in the links of the description of this video. Thank you for the support. Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you so much for tuning in to the Fair Fight Wrestling Podcast. My name is Theron, and you have stumbled across the Be Kind Rewind Classic Match Review, where we take some of the best matches that is available currently on the WWE Network, and we break them down in about 7 minutes or less so that you know what is worth your time to go out of your way and watch some of these hidden gems inside the WWE Network. Today we are talking about Starrcade 1983, going all the way back to the early 80s. And yes, I know, before I get some grief in the comments below, I do have this labeled as WCW. I do know that it was actually NWA, but for purposes of finding it on the network, it is under WCW. Starrcade 1983 in a dog collar match between Hot Rod, Rowdy Roddy Piper, and Greg Valentine. All right, here's why I chose this. Number one, and I can't remember what documentary I saw this interview on, but I saw an interview with Roddy Piper about matches in the early 80s, and basically one of the promoters asked him to come up with the most violent match he could think of for this event, and he came up with a dog collar match. And so I thought, well, I gotta check this thing out. And let me tell you guys, if you guys are fans of hardcore matches, if you're a fan of ECW, if you're a fan of an actual Extreme Rules match, you have to watch this match. And let me tell you why. Here on Verify, by a classic match, we have to go under 5 different categories, right? We want to make sure we have a good story. It has to evoke emotion. The match has to have a decent amount of drama. There has to be some decent stakes up for grabs, and then obviously in-ring quality of the match itself. And all across the board, guys, this is a bloody, grueling match. And let's just dive right into it, all right? So this thing begins, and you've got these dog collars attached to the guys' necks. And when you watch it, it's not like watching a hardcore match of today. You could put Rusev and Roman Reigns in this exact same match, like tomorrow on Raw, or next week on Raw, or on a pay-per-view, and it wouldn't have the same feel, because you know going into it, this was well rehearsed, it was thought through, there's gonna be some gimmicky stuff to it, no blood, you know, one of those things where it's like, yeah, you know, it's gonna be fun, but it's not gonna be brutal. The second this match started, you realize this is 1983. And they didn't have a whole lot of restrictions on themselves, or if they did, they broke a lot of rules. It felt dangerous. It truly felt dangerous, and it's very rare where I watch a match where I honestly think, like, dude, somebody can get hurt in this thing. And the opening bout where they had a tug of war with their necks that turned into a tug of war with the chain itself was absolutely great storytelling. The commentators were spectacular of telling the story about Roddy Piper's earlier earlier ear injuries, and Greg Valentine would take advantage of that. There was blood almost instantly, guys. This was a grueling match. The use of the chain was absolutely brilliant, where they'd wrap it around each other's faces. And one time it was in Greg Valentine's mouth. Piper used it as a winch in the corner turnbuckle around the ring post. They did maneuvers on the outside using it. Something as simple as Greg Valentine running towards the ropes, and all Roddy did was just yank him back. Guys, the in-ring quality of this match was absolutely brilliant between the two of these. And the stakes, in terms of stakes, actually listening to the commentary, Valentine went in as the United States Championship, but they did not have the championship up for grabs. That's a story in itself, that Piper didn't even want the title up for grabs. He ended up winning the match, spoiler alert, sorry about that. He ended up winning the match, but not the title, because the revenge and this grudge match was all he needed. Drama. Oh my gosh, you talk about drama? Just at the beginning alone, before they even touched each other, and that tug of war with their necks, and then the brutality. I keep using that word brutality, but it's the best word that I can think of. The amount of drama that this match evoked, and the amount of emotion that it evoked. You listen to the crowd, and this was back before, kayfabe was really was broke. We're a decade away from kayfabe being broke, guys. Especially at the end, when the match continued on after the bell rang, and Valentine's getting the advantage on Piper. The crowd legitimately lost their mind. And there's a big difference between like a Roman Reigns boo and a crowd that you kind of almost wonder if they're going to jump the guardrail, because back then, guys, they thought, I'm not going to say they all thought it was real, but they were so invested that you hear some of these fans go absolutely insane. There's some fans who are really close to some microphones, and you think they're going to jump that safety rail and they're going to come in there after Valentine. So this was an absolutely fun, dangerous match to watch. Rivals some of the stuff on ECW. It definitely rivals any of the Extreme Rules, quote-unquote, matches that you see nowadays. I'd love to see this match recreated, especially with someone like Braun Strowman. Can you imagine them telling a competitor that we're going to do a dog collar match and you are going to be chained to this monster standing in the corner across the ring from you? It would be amazing. It'd be an awesome callback to what I find to be one of the most gruesome physical confrontations between two awesome competitors at their time, and it is definitely worth checking out, you guys. Let me know what you thought of the match. Go check it out. Come back, let me know what you really thought was some highlights of this match, what made it a great story, what evoked emotion for you. Remember to hit that thumbs up button. You can hit subscribe, that way you can never miss an episode. Throw some comments down below. Follow us at Fairfight Audio on Twitter. Thanks again, guys, for tuning in. I hope you enjoy this match, and we'll chat again soon.